right. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm excited to be here. Welcome to this Major Monday. My name is Mark Bashador. I'm the director of the PGA Golf Management Program here at Uccs. This program is something special to me. It's been a part of my life really since the program started. It started in 2003, and I went through the program when it first started, and I've worked closely with it and then been working for the program. This is my 9th year doing so. So very excited for you to be here, for you to hear about the PGA Golf Management Program, all that we do here at UCCS and what makes us unique. So I've got a few slides I'm going to jump into. They probably are going to spur on some questions as we're going through this. So feel free to, as Jacqueline mentioned, use the chat function there. We will be happy to answer your questions as we go through it. Let's see. So there, this kind of sums up what you get to see from campus. So this is the view from basically the top of Dwyer Hall, which is where the College of Business is housed and where the PGA Golf Management is housed. But this is Colorado Springs, and you couldn't ask for a better backdrop, better setting in terms of golf recreation and just overall beauty. So. What is the PGA Golf Management Program? In a nutshell, I'd like to look at what are the outcomes, and the outcomes are twofold. First, students get a Bachelor's of Science in Business. Okay, and the great part about UCCS is we let you pick that business degree. So that degree could be in marketing or management or finance, accounting. It's not in PGA Golf Management. And so that's the great thing is your degree has a great deal of power, and it's a 4-year Bachelor's of Science in Business. And then the other half of that is that you're going to become a PGA golf professional upon graduation. You're going to go into the industry, and as soon as you secure a job, you can actually apply for direct election to the PGA of America. And it's an important distinction that we're not a certificate program. You don't become certified PGA professional. You become a PGA member. And a member comes with a lot of power, that you get to access the resources of the PGA of America, that you're in a giant club of PGA men and women working towards a collaborative goal. You have resources available to you, which includes awesome privileges such as free tickets to all PGA events, including the Masters. You can actually walk up with your PGA ID and walk right in the gate at the Masters. Among other things, you are the expert in the game and the business of golf. So that means that you're probably going to work at a golf course, potentially running the operation, teaching lessons, running tournaments, overseeing a staff, part of the merchandising, part of the budgeting plan, whatever it may be. Typically, people go into one of two areas, what we call golf operations or golf instruction. And the curriculum is divided evenly in those two areas. But there are other avenues that you can pursue in the industry of golf. There's actually 26 different PGA qualified positions that you could look at. But that's the typical route, and that's what most of our students and our graduates are doing. You can see that picture there on the left is at the PGA Merchandise Show, where 30,000 professionals in the industry get together every year in Orlando, Florida. And our students, we take a group of students each year, got the opportunity to interface with professionals and industry experts at that event. We do have, excuse me, a video that I would encourage you to watch. It doesn't show well on the Zoom format, but if you go to YouTube and type in the PGA Golf Management, this is the still frame that you'll see. But there are 18 universities that have the PGA Golf Management University right now. They're in the College of Business, there's not as many. Some are not in the College of Business, and so you have to decide what the degree looks like for you. But for us at UCCS, you're going to get a PGA Golf Management, like I said, membership in the PGA, but you're also going to get that Bachelor's of Science in Business. There's one other way to become a PGA member, and that's the associate route. That's working at a golf course on your own. Again, you wouldn't come out with a business degree, so that's a big distinction there. Oops, see if I can get this play. All right. Again, as I mentioned, the end goal is a Class A, what we call Class A PGA Golf Professional. And there's your emphasis options that you could look at in the College of Business here at UCCS. What is the program overview? About 4.5 years. If you're a transfer, we can get you out in about 4 years, potentially 3.5. There is one other way to do so that's a bit challenging, but typical students are going to complete this in 4.5 years. During that 4 years, that includes 16 months of full-time internship, and we're talking 40 plus hours a week, full-time internship, 16 months, and that's divided between your summers after each of your first 3 years on campus, and then a long internship at the end. And the reason we do that long internship at the end is because it probably is going to turn into your first job in the industry, or at least lead to your first job in the industry. So we don't want to have you come back to campus. We want you to head out into the industry. The strength is that it's cohort based. And so we often say that it's a family atmosphere. And that's what we feel at UCCS. Our students come in as a group of students collaborating on a shared goal of PGA membership. And they often live together. We have our own floor in the dorms. They eat together, play golf together, do everything together. In fact, right before I walked in this meeting, the students were texting. We use a texting app about going to a fun event this weekend. And they like to do social events. They're just fun for them to get together. Okay. Right now, we have 100% employment placement rate, and that has been true since the start of this program. If you want to work in the golf industry, you will have a job at the end of this. The amazing thing about the golf industry right now is that there is a very aging membership, and there's very few students getting into the program. So enrollment numbers in the university and the associate route that I mentioned earlier are at an all-time low, while the membership, the PGA membership right now is 54% seniors. 54% are in the senior category, which means that they're probably aging out and ready to head to retirement. So we see our students, our graduates, advancing in jobs like we've never seen. We had a student this last year go on his final internship, and within 2 months, they actually offered them the head professional job at the facility, and it was not a small facility, it was a big resort. This is crazy when you consider 10 years ago, someone would have to kind of put in that grind of 8 to 10 years working as an assistant professional just to get to that opportunity of head golf professional. And we see that continuing. We see wages going up, and we see opportunities expanding greatly. Some things we do in the program. We play a lot of golf, which is great because I'm sure that you're here because you love the game of golf. Guess what? I'm here because I love the game of golf, and I love to play the game of golf. That's never left. We play a tournament series. We play 6 events, and then we qualify top tier students get to go to our championship, which is a 2-day event. We also do a match play, singles and doubles. And this is every semester that I'm talking, we do these events. We also qualify for national events to compete against other PGA golf management universities. That's a bit on hold right now because of travel and COVID, but we certainly love to compete and love all that comes with it. Part of that is that we need you to pass the playing ability test. That is part of graduation. So you have to pass the playing ability test prior to graduation. And so tournaments prep you for that. What else preps you for that is what's called our player development program, which is a highly involved, deliberate program to look at your game in a way you've probably never looked at before. We've spent years researching it and figuring out how we can maximize your golf game to pass the playing ability test. That's a huge component of graduation because it is a requirement for PGA membership. We also spend a great deal of our time on career development. So we have our own internship coordinator on staff. John works with you directly and each person individually on their career path. He preps you for interviews, for resume writing, for everything involved with getting that internship and then ultimately that job. We hold a yearly interview day, which we just wrapped up 2 weeks ago, where we had 22 employers from 11 different states across the United States interviewing our students. Some students got internships out of that. Some just got to meet great people that they may solicit for internships later. Other people got great practice for interviews for internships or jobs in the future. Some are looking elsewhere. The great news is we have about 800 internship sites, and that includes places such as Pebble Beach, Medina, Brookline, to TPC Sawgrass, you name it. We have section offices if you want to get in the tournament ops or more of the admin side. We have awesome opportunities for internships. Again, those are full-time and they are required to be paid. And many of them are providing housing at this point because they know that students, as I mentioned before, are fewer in number and therefore in high demand. We do a lot of PGA events, both nationally and locally. So we collaborate with our Colorado section PGA, and our students could be at our meetings. We had a meeting this morning for the Colorado PGA, and our students were on the call virtually, but they're allowed to come when it's in person. We send 2 students to the PGA annual meeting. This year will be virtual, and so we're inviting all our students to that as well. We also do events in our community, so we can build community relationships, not just at golf courses, but we've done things like building bunk beds for Habitat for Humanity, for several different, we've done a dictionary drive with the Rotary Club. Anything where we can give back to the community, whether that's golf or locally elsewhere. In order to be eligible for the program, you do need to be eligible for the College of Business. So when you apply at uccs.edu, click apply now and select PGA Golf Management, but your enrollment has to be directly into the College of Business in order to be eligible for the PGA program. From there, we need proof of your handicap, which needs to be a 12 handicap or less, and you can provide that using a form on our website, uccs.edu/PGM, and yet that can be either your gen, if you keep a gen, or have your golf coach or PGA professional sign off on. Those 2 components, that's what's going to get you enrolled for the program. Again, after graduation, you're going to have a bachelor's degree, the ability to apply for PGA membership, and the important part is that logo right there. You've seen that logo maybe before. It's the one on my shirt here. That logo has a rocker to it that says professional, and only PGA professionals can wear it. It's one of the most recognized logos in sport, but again, only those who are PGA members can have the rocker on there. So that comes with a great deal of power. And when you're giving lessons, you have that ability to convey that you are the expert in the game and the business of golf. And that's a really cool thing about this program. Why is UCCS different than the other 17 universities? First, we are in the College of Business, as I mentioned, but we're also AACSB. And so our College of Business degree is the top 20% in the world and top 10%, top 20% in the United States, top 10% in the world. And what that means is your business degree is very, very valuable. It means our professors are research-based, that they have to stay relevant and modern with their teaching. It means that our classrooms are very, very small. The biggest classroom that we can fit in Dwyer in the College of Business is 43 students. You'll never have a class bigger than that that's College of Business. Typically at UCCS, class sizes are very small in that way as well. Students get to pick their emphasis I mentioned, and you get to develop that tight-knit network that I mentioned earlier. There's the internships, some cool pictures from some of our internships this is last year, but Pronghorn, Northlands, Bandon Dunes, Country Club of the Rockies, Columbine Country Club, Sonnenalp up in the mountains. Awesome opportunity there. You do get a membership at our local course, which is Pine Creek Golf Club, about 10 minutes north of campus. We also have a deal at Fort Carson Golf Course. We have a graduate who works there and gives a membership for $80 that you could pay for out of pocket. But as conclude with your fees of being a PGA student, you get your access to Pine Creek. And that's unlimited golf, unlimited range for the semester, which is pretty neat. With that, I just want to wrap it up and just add a few other things about being a PGA member. I mentioned that you get tickets to golf events and that sort of thing, but some other cool things that come with it. First, golf is free to PGA members. There's no special card for this, but it's a network of people. You're in a club, like I mentioned earlier. And so if I want to go play the Broadmoor, I can text Russ Miller at the Broadmoor and say, Russ, hey, can I come out Thursday afternoon? I'm not going there Saturday morning with the members, but can I come out Thursday afternoon? And he's going to say, yeah, because we know each other. It's that network. So golf is free, which is pretty cool. The other cool thing is you get what's called PUD, and that's personal use discount. Personal use discount is heavy discounts on clubs, balls, equipment. So for example, a set of Mizuno irons would cost you about 480 bucks. You compare that out to what normally that would be, that's a heavy, heavy discount. It's usually 25% off of wholesale, which is not even what you pay for retail. You get that as a student. We will give you PUD as soon as you are past your first semester on campus. We extend that to you. And so a lot of students take advantage of that and certainly order equipment throughout the semester. When you go on in your career, there's a possibility that you go on staff with a company. So you might go to a club and they say, hey, we want you to be the Titleist person. And so Titleist outfits you every year with head to toe on every bit of equipment, clothing, apparel, everything you need with your logo, your name on it. So some pretty cool opportunities. The other thing I would just add and end with before we get to some questions is that this is a lifestyle. As I mentioned before, it's not certified in PGA golf management. It's that you are a member of the PGA of America. You are a PGA professional. It's a lifestyle. You are the golf pro, and people know you as that. And there's so much reward in that. There's so much opportunity to be out at awesome facilities and to interface with incredible people. The opportunities are just so vast right now. So I would love to have you apply, love to accept you into the program, and love to work with you over the next 4 years if that is your timeline. So with that, I will turn it back over and see, are there any questions?
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so just a reminder, you can type in questions in that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. But our first question is, what is the biggest challenge students face in the program?
It's a really good question. So typically 3 areas. First is going to be golf. You know, if you come in at that 12 handicap, we've got work to do, because to pass that playing ability test, you probably need to be down to about a 4 handicap. A 6 handicap can go out and have kind of a career day, if you will. But a 4 handicap is about where we need to get you. Now, again, our player development program, I would put up against everybody. I literally did years of research on how to get students to pass specifically the PAT. And so there's huge support in that way. Secondly is academics. Uccs is not an easy degree. Your College of Business degree is not an easy degree. And when you add everything that comes with being a PGA student, the tournaments and the meetings and the events, everything that's kind of involved, it takes a great deal of time management. I would argue that you come out so much better on the other side because of the rigor of the program, but that's certainly a challenge of it. Those are 2 of the probably biggest challenges for our students. Thanks for the question.
How many students are in the Uccs PGA Golf Management Program?
Good question. So right now we have just under 60 students. We can admit up to 43. I don't anticipate doing so based on previous trends last several years. Typically, we want that enrollment class to be around 20 or so, 20 to 25. I'd like our number somewhere around 75. Like I said, right now it's just under 60, but that's our number right now.
Are there additional courses that need to be taken for the PGA program?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I should have mentioned this, but the way the curriculum is going to work is we basically took a College of Business degree and we ripped out the electives and we placed in all our PGA golf management classes. Okay, so what that does is every semester, for 8 semesters, you're going to take 1 PGA golf management class and the rest will be College of Business classes. Okay, and the way that functions is you've got what's called qualifying level that first semester, and then it goes level 1 teaching and then level 1 golf operations, then level 2 teaching, level 2 golf operations, level 3 repeat. And then we end with a capstone course where we study industry trends, look at technology such as TrackMan, Golf Genius, and we have you actually build a golf course, and you build an entire golf course from the ground up, which is pretty fun. So that's kind of the curriculum outline. Good question.
And are there additional costs for those classes?
It's a good question. So not for those specific, for the classes outside of your normal tuition, but there are additional fees that cover your PGA materials. So all said and done, the program comes to an additional about 10 grand, and that's broken up into 3 areas. First, you're going to pay for 5 credits of internship. Okay, so each semester that you're on internship, you're going to pay a flat fee. I think it's $560. I remember off the top of my head. And then you're going to pay. No, I'm sorry, it's less than that. And then you're going to pay a program fee. That membership at Pine Creek that I mentioned. We also do all your tournaments. We also just had a fun event last week where we bought lunch for everybody. We always buy you a piece of apparel, so a sweater, a shirt, a jacket, something along those lines. That's $575 every semester you're on campus. And then the additional fees are to cover your curriculum that we access from the PGA. So everything is portal-based online. And when you access that material, we get billed by the PGA, so we bill you and then send that right to the PGA. But again, all that said and done just comes to about 10 grand.
I noticed we've had a few more people join us, and I just wanted to let everyone know that there is a Q&A feature at the bottom where you can type in your questions. And I also just want to let you know that this video is being recorded and will be published on our YouTube channel, UCCS Admission. So if you want to see the full thing, but please continue to submit questions. Our next question is, does a student still get to participate in the player development if they have already passed the PAT?
Oh, awesome question. Yes, absolutely. Totally can. We just don't force you to. So the player development is a requirement if you haven't passed the PAT. But if you want to do, so it's a lot. It's drills, it's one-on-one practices, it's group practices, it's review sessions, it's goal setting. If you want to do those things, I think you should always be working on your game. And just speaking personally, I usually help the students and work on my game with them because I think that your game should always be growing. So yes, absolutely, you can participate in player development.
We have a question from someone who's active duty in the military, and their handicap, they're worried may not be active anymore. It's a little bit more than 2 years ago. And so they're wondering if they can still apply. They are currently abroad, and maybe you have some contact information you can share as well. Yeah,
absolutely. So a couple things you can do. We do have to have a recent handicap. That's a requirement of the PGA. You can sign up for a handicap at any local golf course and get it if you had a gen at one point, it should reactivate, which is totally fine. You should keep that same number that they provide for you. And then you can actually input more scores if you wanted to do it that way as well. Again, you have the option to have a PGA professional or golf coach sign off of it. So if you play at a local course that has a PGA professional there, they can sign and verify that your handicap is 12 or less. So that's the easy way to do it. There was a second part of that question. Did I catch it all? I don't know if I did.
Yes, and this student is currently abroad, so I don't know if that makes a difference with the active duty military situation. I don't know with a golf course, but also I was just asking about contact information so they can follow up with any additional questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to get your questions. pgm@uccs.edu is our main address. If you go to our website, all our contact information, all our staff contact information is on there. But I'll mention too, you said military. UCCS is one of the most military-friendly universities in the country, and often noted as such and often awarded as such. We have 5 military bases in Colorado Springs, and right now, of the just under 60 students, I want to say we have 9 or 10 that have military affiliation. That this is second career, looking at a different avenue post-military. There's so much opportunity there. UCCS will make that process streamless. They have a wonderful office to help you, a military office to help you with that. And we have huge support in that way, and we can connect you with students who are in it right now, that are military and have gone through it who are military. It's an awesome thing to look at. But feel free to reach out with any more info or any more questions you have that way. But certainly, yeah, we'll take your handicap. It just has to be updated.
We have one more minute if anyone else wants to submit any other questions. We had one more question about for our juniors who are attending tonight, if you have any general advice for them as they go through their junior year.
So junior year in high school, I'm assuming, right? Okay, so yeah, I would say one thing to be mindful of, and so there are large changes coming to the PGA of America in terms of the university program. We don't know the details yet on that. What I've been told is that the program could very much change by fall of 22. It will not be changed by fall of 21. There's a good chance everything stays the same through fall of 22, and I just don't know those answers yet. But there is a chance, if you're a junior, that the program could look very different than it does look today. I wish I had more details for you, and I wish I could provide more details, but I do want to be upfront and honest that letting you know that it could change in that way. Now, with that said, what we anticipate that Uccs will house a PGA golf management program for the very long future. And so we certainly look forward to having you here during that time. My encouragement for everyone trying to get into the program is a couple things. Work on your golf game, okay? Practice in a way you've never practiced before. Don't hit range balls because that's exercise, okay? Practice is deliberate. Practice is getting on the range and having a specific goal in mind. Don't exercise, practice, okay? The other thing is you can pass the PAT now. If you want to take the PAT for anyone coming in next year or the following year, you can pass the PAT at any point. Go to pga.org, register for a PAT. In Colorado, they offer about 6 of them a year. They typically pick very easy golf courses. They set up the course not very tough. You have to play 2 rounds of golf, and you have to shoot 15 strokes or less over the course rating. So for example, if the course rating is 70, which would be pretty typical, for 2 rounds would be 140 plus 15 is 155. You need to shoot about 78, 77. Okay, I know that was quick math, but 78, 77, that's a pretty typical PAT score. If you pass the PAT, you never have to take it again. It's not like recertifying. So if you wanted to, my encouragement would be get registered for one now. Even if you don't feel like you're ready to take and pass a PAT, the experience is very much worth it. It's interesting to see how that environment is, that 36 holes. Everybody's trying to do it for their career. Certainly work on that. Lastly, if you're a junior, work on your academics. You've got to get into the College of Business. And the College of Business is not easy to A, get into, but also B, to get through. One of the things they're going to focus on heavily is math. So if you're sitting there going, hey, I'm not great at math, change your mindset to you're unpracticed at math, okay? And go and practice math more, all right? Once you practice math more, you will be more prepared. There's a lot of students who apply and miss out just because a math score on the ACT is low, or they take the math placement test and don't place into the class they wanted to. So work on your math, work on your English, but work on your math, get your GPA as high as you can, and feel prepared to apply.
Mark, thank you so much for taking time to talk with our prospective students tonight. And for all of our students that are on tonight, I just want you to know Mark is a very tangible, real person who is always happy to talk with prospective students. So I would encourage you not to be shy to reach out and use that pgm@uccs email address. He'll follow up with you and get your questions answered. So we do have a variety of virtual events for any of our friends that are out of state tonight. If you want to learn just more in general about UCCS, or even our students in Colorado, if you visit uccs.edu/virtual, you can see all of our offerings. We will be updating and adding more of our November events soon. So definitely check that website for sessions about financial aid and scholarships, sessions about applying to UCCS, and we hope to see you at more events virtually. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Mark, and being a feature on our Major Monday.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And you mentioned scholarships. There are several scholarships just for the PGA Golf Management Program. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So thank you so much for mentioning that. Thank you all for giving your time this evening. Please reach out with more questions. I'd love to answer them.